Hello everyone and future homeowners and real estate enthusiasts. Have you ever wondered why it feels like home prices just keep skyrocketing? Well, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving deep into real reasons why home prices are on the rise. So whether you're looking to buy your dream home or just curious about what's driving this housing market frenzy, stay tuned because we're about to reveal the secrets behind those soaring home prices. Hi everyone, Meral Ibrahim here, realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty in the beautiful Palm Beaches, Florida. If you're new to my channel and want to learn about lifestyles, communities, and some real estate in the Palm Beaches, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button and bell so you will be notified of my future videos. Today, we're tackling a topic that's been on the minds of many, and it's one that hits close to home, quite literally, the never-ending surge in home prices. If you've been feeling like the dream of home ownership is slipping further from your grasp, you're not alone. It's a hot topic at dinner tables, social gatherings, and online forums these days. But what's causing this relentless climb in home prices? That's exactly what we're here to unravel. We'll be delving into the driving forces behind this trend so you can better understand the why behind those jaw-dropping price tags. So let's jump right in and uncover the secrets behind the soaring home prices. If you've ever daydreamed about snagging your own little slice of real estate heaven or thought about trading up from your current digs, you've probably ridden the emotional roller coaster that changing home prices can unleash. It's like a wild ride through financial dreams, self-doubts, and a pinch of good old-fashioned anxiety that many of us have taken at some point. But if you've been holding off on making that move because you're concerned that home prices might take a nosedive, let me set the record straight. They're not going down anytime soon. In fact, it's quite the opposite story unfolding in the world of real estate. All right, let's talk about one of the fundamental factors driving those ever-increasing home prices: supply and demand. It's a bit like your favorite seesaw at the playground, and the balance between these two can really shake things up in the housing market. So here's the deal. When there's a high demand for homes but not enough houses available for sale, prices tend to shoot up. It's a classic case of scarcity. People want a place to call their own, but there aren't enough houses to go around. This pushes prices higher as sellers can ask for more since there are so many eager buyers competing for the limited supply. Now, on the flip side, when there's a surplus of homes and not enough buyers, prices can cool down. It's all about the delicate dance between what's available and how badly people want it. So remember, it's not just about the houses, it's also about how many folks are itching to buy them. All right, here's another piece of the puzzle: a strong economy and job growth. When the economy is humming along and jobs are popping up left and right, it's like a shot of adrenaline for the housing market. think about it this way. When folks have stable jobs and feel confident about their financial futures, they start thinking about home ownership. It's a natural progression. You get a steady paycheck, you start saving, and before you know it, you're scoping out your dream home. But here's the catch. When more people are looking to buy homes, that demand we just talked about skyrockets. And of course, if there aren't enough homes available, prices rise. It's the basic law of supply and demand again. But this time, the strong economy and job growth are the fuel that ignites the demand side. So, if your local job market is booming and the economy is in good shape, you can bet that it's likely putting some upward pressure on those home prices. It's all part of the complex web that makes the real estate world go round. Now let's dive a little deeper into this supply and demand concept. Picture it like a seesaw at the playground. It's all about finding that right and perfect balance. When you've got more people wanting to buy homes than there are homes available, that's when things get interesting. Think about it like the latest smartphone release. When there's a high demand for it and only a limited number of them in stock, what happens? Prices shoot through the roof, right? Well, it's the same deal with houses. When there's a buzz in the real estate market and everyone's looking for that perfect abode, but there aren't enough houses up for grabs, that's when prices tend to skyrocket. It's the classic case of scarcity. People want a piece of the home ownership pie, but there's just isn't enough slices to go around. This is what drives prices up, because sellers can ask for more when they know they've got a lineup of eager buyers jostling for the limited supply. On the flip side, imagine a situation where there's a surplus of houses and not enough folks are looking to buy. Prices cool down like a refreshing breeze on a hot summer day. It's all about the delicate dance between what's available and how badly people want it. So remember, it's not just about the houses, it's also about how many folks are itching to buy them. When the seesaw tips more towards demand, that's when you see those for sale signs turn into sold signs. Now let's talk about the economic powerhouse that can send home prices on a rocket ride: a strong economy and job growth. When the economy is doing a little happy dance and jobs are sprouting up like mushrooms after rain, it's like injecting adrenaline into the heart of the housing market. Imagine this. You've got a stable job, a regular paycheck, and a sense of financial security. What's the natural step for many? Yep, you start thinking about buying a home. It's like the dream of home ownership gets a turbo boost. With a steady income, you begin saving, and before you know it, you're out there browsing for the house that suits your vision. But here's where it gets interesting. When more and more people get that itch to become homeowners, it amps up the demand side. And if there's not enough housing supply to meet that surge in demand, you guessed it, prices climb. It's that age-old law of supply and demand coming into play once again, but this time it's the robust economy and job growth that are stoking the flames of demand. So, in a nutshell, if you're in an area where the job market is thriving and the economic vibes are positive, you can bet that it's playing a part in driving those home prices north. It's all interconnected. It's what keeps the real estate world buzzing with excitement. Now let's chat about the challenges in new construction and how they affect the supply of homes. It's a bit like understanding why the buffet table doesn't always have your favorite dish. You see, building new homes isn't as simple as putting together a jigsaw puzzle. There are several hurdles that builders face, and these challenges have a direct impact on the number of available homes. Regulations and red tape. First off, you've got a whole bunch of regulations, permits, and zoning laws to contend with. These are like the hoops you have to jump through just to get started. It can slow down the construction process, which means fewer new homes hitting the market. Cost of materials. Now, think about the cost of materials. Lumber prices, for example, can go through the roof, pun intended, due to various factors like supply chain disruptions and tariffs. When building materials become more expensive, the cost of constructing new homes goes up, and that often gets passed on to potential buyers. Skilled labor shortages. You know those skilled craftsmen and construction workers who bring homes to life? Well, there's a shortage of them in some areas. It's like having a recipe but not enough chefs. When there aren't enough skilled workers to keep up with the demand, it can slow down construction and limit the number of homes being built. Land availability. Finding suitable land for new construction can be a bit like finding the perfect spot for a picnic on a crowded beach. In some areas like Palm Beach County, there's limited land available for development, and that's a big constraint on building new homes. So, when you add all these challenges together, it can put a real damper on the supply of new homes. Fewer new houses hitting the market means less competition for sellers, which can push prices even higher. It's like the law of supply and demand strikes again with a shortage of new homes driving up prices. So, when you're out there searching for your dream home, remember that the challenges in new construction are a significant piece of the puzzle affecting the housing market. Now, we can't ignore how changing demographics, the rise of remote work, and shifting migration patterns are shaking up the housing market. It's like watching a dynamic dance that's transforming the way we live and where we call home. Changing demographics and millennial impact. First up, changing demographics, especially the entrance of the millennial generation into the housing market. Think of it as a fresh breeze blowing through the real estate landscape. Millennials, those born roughly between the early 80s and mid 90s, are making their mark. They're reaching that point in life where they're looking to buy their first homes or move up to bigger ones as they start families. This surge in millennial demand is exciting for sellers as they're a growing chunk of potential buyers. Their preferences often include features like tech-friendly homes and sustainable living, which can reshape the market. So, if you're wondering why prices keep going up, a big part of it is this generational shift and the demand it brings. Remote work and the quest for bigger homes. Now let's talk about the remote work revolution. With technology making it easier to work from anywhere, a lot of people are reevaluating where they want to live. It's like the housing market is playing catch up with this newfound freedom. People are realizing they don't have to be tied to urban centers for work, and that's fueling a desire for larger homes in more affordable, less congested areas. Think about it. When you don't have to worry about a long daily commute, suddenly those spacious homes in the suburbs or even further out in the countryside become incredibly appealing. The demand for larger homes is driving up prices in these areas, while in some urban centers, it's putting downward pressure on prices. Migration trends to certain cities and regions. Lastly, the trend of migration to specific cities and regions is a big piece of the puzzle. Picture it as people voting with their feet. Some cities and regions are experiencing an influx of newcomers, often driven by factors like job opportunities, a lower cost of living, and a better quality of life. When you have a lot of folks flocking to a particular place, it creates a surge in demand for housing. This can push prices up as sellers capitalize on the growing interest in those areas. It's a bit like a popularity contest, but instead of celebrities, it's cities and regions becoming the stars of the show. So, as you can see, these three factors, changing demographics, the rise of remote work, and shifting migration patterns, are like the ingredients in a recipe that's reshaping the housing market. It's all part of a dynamic and evolving story that keeps those home prices on the rise. What about the role of real estate investors and speculators? Real estate investors and speculators are like the high rollers at the casino. They're the folks who put their money on the line, hoping for a big payday. Investors are usually in it for the long haul. They buy properties, rent them out, and build wealth over time. Speculators, on the other hand, are more like thrill seekers. They buy with the intention of selling to quickly make a profit. Both groups can impact the market by snatching up properties, which can drive up prices when there's high demand. How do institutional investors drive up prices? Institutional investors are like the big players at the poker table. These are companies or organizations with deep pockets that swoop in and buy up a bunch of properties. When they do this, it can heat up the competition, leading to higher prices. Think of it as a bidding war where the regular home buyer might find it tough to compete with these real estate giants. So, when institutional investors enter the scene, it can send prices in the housing market on a roller coaster ride. Now that we have the big picture behind us of how we got here, what should we be keeping our eye on going forward the remainder of this year? Looking ahead, home prices usually start to chill out around this time of year, but here's the thing, there's a chance the news might mix up slower price growth, like the turbo slowing down, with home prices actually dropping. But don't get tricked. Slower growth doesn't mean prices are taking a nosedive. They're still on the rise, just at a gentler pace. Here's the deal. With mortgage rates going up, it's throwing a curveball at both buyers and sellers. The classic supply and demand dance in the housing market is feeling the impact. But here's the twist. Even with higher rates, there are more folks eager to buy homes than there are homes up for grabs. And that's keeping prices on the upswing. Freddie Mac puts it like this. While higher interest rates have made homes less affordable and reduced demand, they've also made folks lock in their mortgage rates. In the end, it seems like the drop in supply is outweighing the dip in demand, and that's why house prices are on the rise. Here's the lowdown on what this means for you. If you're a buyer, if you've been holding off on your home buying dreams because you were worried about prices dropping, the good news is that home values are on the upswing. This should put your mind at ease knowing that buying a home can be a solid investment that tends to grow in value over time. If you're a seller and been sitting on the fence, hesitant to sell your house because you were concerned about the ever-changing home prices, it might be a smart move to team up with a real estate agent and list your home. You don't have to keep waiting because the latest information shows that home prices have shifted in your favor. It could be the right time to make your move. As you're watching this and thinking about the housing market, remember that it's essential to have your own game plan. Whether you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on things, take some time to think about your strategy. Maybe it's the right moment to jump into the market, or maybe you'd prefer to sit tight for a bit. The key is to make decisions that fit your own goals and circumstances. So, have a chat with experts. Do your research and go for a strategy that works best for you. Big thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you had a blast watching. If you enjoyed this episode, and we know you did, give that like button a little love and hit subscribe to stay in the loop for more awesome videos. And hey, don't be shy. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And while you're at it, you may also like these videos. Catch you on the flip side, and until next time, keep smiling and stay awesome.